Hello, everyone. Thank you to the Harvard Institute of Politics for having me today, and the student organizers, activists, leaders all across the country who are joining us. And I'd especially like to thank Mark Guerin, director of the Institute of Politics, Manat Benassi, president of the Institute of Politics, the student president, and Kevin Balin, the student vice president of the Institute of Politics. Thanks for having me today. Our country is currently facing four intersecting crises: the public health pandemic, economic inequality, racial injustice, and the existential threat of our time, the climate crisis. While our nation is faced with enormous challenges as we look to rebuild and recover, we're also presented with immense opportunity to ensure we never return to the status quo. This is our moment to create the change that we want to see, to finally work towards true justice in our country. And there is no one who realizes that more of our young people are participating in politics than I am. They were so instrumental in my race last year. You are making a huge difference in the way in which our country views these critical issues. Young men and women are leading the movements that are redefining our world and our times. Students on campuses in both red states and blue states are mobilizing to push leaders to shape a better tomorrow. And I'll tell you why it's important to you and why it's so important for you to be here today, why your activism is so important. Because when 2 generations ago, young women did not have the right to vote, young women created a suffragette movement. They organized and they got the right to vote. When young people were upset that African Americans in the South did not have the right to vote a generation ago, they rose up and African Americans got the right to vote. When young people in South Africa were upset with the policy of apartheid that discriminated against the majority of the people in that country, they rose up and they ended apartheid. When young people in the United States were upset with the war in Vietnam, they rose up and they said, this war must end. And ultimately, that war was brought to an end. The generation of young people, your generation, is rising up, and they are demanding that we protect the planet against the greatest challenge of our time, climate change. You are the green generation. You're not going to agonize, you are going to organize, and you will lead the movement for action to end the catastrophe that is endangering this planet. The science of climate change is absolutely conclusive. Global temperatures are warming, glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, extreme weather events are increasing, deadly wildfires and biblical floods are costing us hundreds of billions of dollars. Sadly, your generation has never known a time when the earth wasn't warmer than the year before. This is the challenge facing your generation, and we need to make sure that we change the course of history. And I believe we can do that with a Green New Deal. The emergency we face is undeniable, but the challenge is not insurmountable. And that's why Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and I reintroduced the Green New Deal resolution just last month, because it will be through an historic generational commitment to end climate change that we create the kind of democracy that works for all Americans. The Green New Deal is all about jobs and justice. We can achieve 100% clean, renewable, and zero emission electricity, protect our workers, and provide clean water and clean air to all communities. We can create millions of good paying union jobs and kickstart our revolution. We can ensure housing, healthcare, justice for the communities who have long borne the worst burdens of our climate crisis. We have the technology to do it. We have the moral obligation to do it. We have the economic imperative to do it. And we just need the political will to do it. The Green New Deal is the promise we make today to all of the young people at the helm of this movement, that the future is not yet lost. And I have hope because of this progressive movement of young people who are not wavering in our fight for bold climate action. You're taking to the streets, demanding bold and radical change and fighting for true justice. So to all of the young activists here today, thank you. I stand with you. You are the future wind turbines dotting the countryside. You are the solar panels on the roofs and the deserts across the globe. You are the technologies that haven't yet been imagined, just waiting to be unleashed in the great wave of this clean energy revolution. You will power the world's leaders to action with your commitment, intelligence, and passion. And I am so proud to join you here today. Thank you for all the great work you have done. Thank you for all the great work that you are going to do to turn this into the clean energy revolution that will save the planet. Thank you.